Viewer voice messages, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got a bunch to get through. I don't know if we'll get through all of them, but we're going to try. Okay, so this is going to come out a couple hours before the Titans game. Let's go ahead and get after it. First off is Anonymous.
What's going on, James?
What's up, man?
It's
How's it
Rashad. I've been listening to your channel since Derek Carr's first year
Ooh,
with the Saints.
long-time
And
listener.
I want to say you make the best content I've ever seen on YouTube,
I mean,
sports-wise, Saints-wise.
I appreciate that.
And yeah, I live with one regret, and I was hard-headed. I should have listened when you told us to put in the offensive rookie of the year. The whole time I'm like, I don't know. I don't think Shuck may have a chance this year. But look at him now. Like I look stupid. Probably would have bought a brand new truck or something. I don't know. But
That's okay. Listen, it's okay. Okay, no regrets. Happens to the best of us. All right. And he hasn't won it yet. We got 2 weeks left. So it all could be for naught. But, fingers crossed.
yeah, man, and I appreciate your betting previews. Also, I had a six person parlay, 6 pick on Prize Pick parlay thing last week, and I had Chris Olave yards, Juwan Johnson reception. I had a Chase Young sack. What else did I have? What else was it? Um, oh yeah, I had Brees Hall under. I think it was 59.5 yards.
Yep.
Basically everything hit except for one thing. It was the Tyler Shough 2 touchdowns. Man, I could have won $700
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I'm bad with gambling, so I need to probably watch your channel a little bit more.
I mean, if you only missed one of them, if you went 5-1, that sounds pretty nice.
But yeah, man, I appreciate everything you do. I every time I go to work, if I don't see a new James Skrmetta video, I'm pissed. I don't want nobody talking to me. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, that's what it's all about. This has been a perfect call to start with.
If I ain't listening to the face of the franchise, but yeah, man, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting out this content. I hope you never stop until we win a goddamn Super Bowl. Even after that, don't stop. But yeah, man, appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. That's why I do it. I mean, I do it for y'all, and that's why when y'all call in and give me, and say kind words like that, it just keeps me going, keeps me motivated. I really appreciate that. I was actually watching. I'm not sure how this came across my feed, but I was watching. It was like New Orleans the night of the Super Bowl that they won, and it was showing like bars and the streets and Bourbon Street and the parties and all that stuff, and I couldn't help but think. Can you imagine if that happened like now, like with the channel? Like imagine the content we'd be pumping out if the Saints went on a Super Bowl run. Like we've been doing this big time the last couple of years, and the Saints have been pretty bad. Pretty tough to watch, pretty irrelevant, as some would say. If they were all of a sudden the Super Bowl champions, my God. I mean, that would be nuts. Absolutely nuts. I really appreciate that call, man. Y'all don't know how much those kind words, what they do to my mental. So I really appreciate it. Next up is Anonymous. Could be anybody.
James, my man.
What's up, brother?
Face of the franchise.
Best in the business.
It's Ed here from Owensboro, Kentucky.
Kentucky. Shout out Kentucky.
Saints fan for about almost 20 years now.
All right.
I'm outside, 2 hours outside of Louisville, west of Louisville, and about 2 hours from Nashville, which is
all right. You're in the middle of the universe.
I will be at the Titans and Saints game this Sunday, so I will call back to let you know how that was.
Hell yeah.
Inside the stadium. But yeah, man, I was just calling because I want to talk about Shough for a few minutes. It's funny. Of course, I'm from Kentucky, live in Kentucky, and I so happened to be in Louisville the day of the draft when we drafted Shough in the second round.
Right.
And of course, I'm repping my Saints gear, and people coming up to me like, "Hey, man, y'all got a good one, man. Y'all got Shough, man. Y'all got a great one." And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not a Louisville fan. I don't follow Louisville, so I had, no context of what Shough was as a prospect coming into the draft. I saw some of the combine stuff, but outside of that, I really didn't know. So, I'm just like, hey, whatever you say. But they spoke very highly of him. Always said he was great character, great integrity. They spoke about how articulated he was. And then, of course, on the field about how poised he was and things of that nature. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll see. And I remember going into the season, I was very like wishy-washy on the quarterback aspect. I thought that Rattler could be a person that we could develop. And again, I just had so many question marks about Shough, but there's something about young quarterbacks.
It's definitely, there's definitely red flags, question marks, whatever, and there always is. Like with a draft prospect, like it doesn't matter if you're a quarterback or not. You can go down the list, right? Like Travis Hunter, 2nd overall. Like there's a lot there. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of concerns, and for Shough for him to have the concerns, then seemingly the concerns kind of reared their ugly head, and he gets benched for all intents and purposes. He gets benched to start the season, and then to get his shot, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, okay, he's a totally different player. Like he just looks totally different, plays totally different, so much more confident, so much more comfortable. And as of right now, and you never know, like both ways. Like is someone just on a heater, or is someone just kind of have the yips? Like it's never, usually with sports, it's never as good as you think it is, never as bad as you think it is. So, but the Shough thing, he just keeps being great. And he just keeps being better and better and better. And the Saints keep getting better and better and better. And there's just something there. And sometimes it has nothing to do with football. Like sometimes it has nothing to do with climbing the pocket or timing. It's just the human. It's what they have inside of them and how they are in the locker room and how they are in the huddle and the confidence they show and things like that. And I don't know what it is, but Shough's got it. And yeah, what an incredible draft pick. What a job from the front office and Kellen to identify Tyler Shough. So yeah, he's been unreal. All right, next up is Anonymous again. Again, could be anybody.
Hey James, how you doing?
How's it going?
Glad to hear you're doing well. Doing well myself. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
Currently hate watching CD Lamb right now for my fantasy championship.
I had CD Lamb as well. I took CD Lamb 3rd overall. It went, I'm trying to think how it went. It went I think it went Jamar Chase. And man, who went 2nd? Maybe Justin Jefferson. But I had the option of Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, and CD Lamb. And Christian McCaffrey. And I was between all of them. I was like, all right, I'm going to take, I might take CMC. I might take Bijan. I might take Jahmyr Gibbs. And I landed on CD Lamb. And every week I get pissed off about it watching CD Lamb. And recently, I went and looked at the numbers, like the points scored this year. CD Lamb's like 180 points scored or whatever. Bijan Robinson's like 350. CMC's like 370. Jahmyr Gibbs is like 360. Just doubled the production. I really don't get it. I don't know if it's a George Pickens situation. I don't know. But, God, CD Lamb has been bad.
Hope you're in the championship as well.
I'm not. Oh, and Josh Allen. Also, Josh Allen's been awesome at times, and then other times, like last week, he'll have 8 points. So I'm not in the championship, not happy about it. I loved my draft, and just sickening. Just disgusting.
I just want to say I've been a long-time viewer for over 2 years now. You were my most watched YouTube channel on the YouTube recap this year.
Thank you, man.
I just wanted to let you know that I love your work. You post very great videos. You and Nick Underhill and Mike Triplett at New Orleans Football are my favorite two to watch.
There you
love
go.
the content, man. Love the reaction videos.
I'll have to let Nicholas know.
And just wanted to let you know that you're the man. Thank you.
You're the man. Good luck in your championship. I hope you win. I'm living vicariously through you. All right, next up, Elias. Walk with Elias, as WWE would say.
Yo, James, I know you already made the video about Jeremiah Love, but as someone who is a Saints fan and a Notre Dame fan, those are my two teams. I feel like I'm uniquely in the position to say this. Dude, don't draft Jeremiah Love. He's not a bad player or anything. That's not why. It's just, please, we do not need a running back with our, 8th overall pick or whatever it's ending up to be. It's just not worth it. Running backs, there's a reason that the market on them went down while other ones were exploding. They're a dime a dozen, and I'd rather ride it out with Devin Neal, or even the white guy, whatever his name is.
Big Evan Hull.
I'd rather ride it out with one of them because, I mean, we're not deep enough in other positions to even have the privilege to draft a running back that high. That would be a huge mistake. It's like having a Ferrari, but you're living in a trailer park. It just doesn't make sense. And if we don't have an O-line, then the running back's useless. Let's build that up first. I'm all for drafting another amazing tackle or guard. I know you're not supposed to draft a guard high, but if we don't have that, we have nothing. Anyway, keep going, man. Love the channel. Yo, one other thing, James. Can you do a video on just comparing Shador and Tyler Shough? Like just all off season, ever since the draft, we were hearing nothing but how idiotic Mickey Lumis is for picking Shough when he could have had Shador, and all that nonsense went on way too long. I'm not saying it's like night and day difference, but it kind of is. I mean, they're on similar caliber teams, and Browns even have a better defense. And I mean, just look at the stats. I'd like you to break those down. Maybe give your opinion, what you think happened there, what you think would have happened if we did pick him up. Love to hear your thoughts, man.
So let's talk about the Jeremiah Love thing real quick. So yeah, I mean, if Jeremiah Love's not the guy, then don't draft him. That's going to be up for Kellen more. That's going to be up to the staff, the scouts. But if they do identify him as this guy could be a premier back, this guy could fit into the system, he could do what we want this offense to do, then take him. Like, that's kind of where in the draft, like, at a certain level, you have to just kind of trust the process. You just got to kind of trust who you have making the decisions. In our case, it's Kellen and the scouting team. But yeah, I don't care who we draft. Like, it doesn't matter to me if we draft. Like, I can sit here and say, don't draft Jordan Tyson, right? Like, don't. And this is just hypothetical. I don't. But don't draft Jordan Tyson because wide receivers miss at 75% miss rate, whatever. But if Kellen and the scouting team looks at Jordan Tyson, they're like, no, brother, this guy is like going to be the best wide receiver in the NFL. Well, then take him. Like, okay, I've heard enough for sure. So at a certain, and that's why drafts and all that stuff. So the pre-draft process, at a certain point, you kind of have to err to your team. You have to err to your coaches. You have to err to whoever, and just hope that they know what they're doing. And I trust Kellen. And if Kellen tells me Jeremiah Love is the man, I have no choice but to believe him. If he tells me that Jeremiah Love can't play, I have no choice but to believe him. All right, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me who we draft, as long as they hit it. That's the main thing. It's more about hitting the picks versus like individual players and individual names and all that. Like, it's just hit the pick, get impactful players, and the rest will figure itself out. And then the Shador thing, I've had a request for that a few times, like to do that video. And at this point now, I just, Shough has elevated himself to a completely different level of the rest of the quarterbacks in this draft. I don't think it's close with any of them. Like, I don't think it's close with Cam Ward. I don't think it's close with Jackson Dart. I mean, Tyler Shough, in 2 weeks, he could be the rookie of the year. And that kind of just says all it needs to say. So we may do like a recap at the end of the year or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, nothing against Shador. I like Shador as a player. I don't think he should have been drafted in the 5th round. And I don't know why the Browns took Dylan Gabriel over him. It's just a weird thing. I don't think Dylan Gabriel should have been a 3rd rounder. But I just think the polarizing conversation is not doing justice for Shador or Tyler Shough, because I think they're both just good players who are, Tyler is elevated well beyond, but they're just rookie good players. Now Shador and Cam Ward, that's an interesting conversation. Would you rather have Cam Ward 1st overall or wait and draft Shador in the 3rd, hypothetically? Because I don't think Shador sits in the 5th again in a redraft. Like, what would you rather do if you're the Titans? Maybe the Titans use the 1st overall pick on something else, and they're totally happy taking Shador in the 3rd or the 4th. That's an interesting wrinkle there. Where does Shador go in a redraft? Things like that. All right, next up, great call. Next up, Tim Austin. Stone Cold Tim Austin.
Big James, face of the franchise.
What's up, brother? How's it
How
going?
you doing? This is Tim from Austin, Texas, but born and raised Louisiana. Love the Saints, love your channel,
There you
everything
go.
like that.
Okay, shout out Austin.
Listen to all these voicemails on one of these videos. Everybody's talking, who do we take in the draft? This and that. I say we take a receiver, but I swear, if the Saints take an offensive lineman in the first round again, I swear, I'm going to make January 6th look like nothing, I swear.
Jesus. Good God almighty.
Get a playmaker, get a receiver. I mainly want a receiver. I don't know about running back. I just love Alvin. I don't want to get rid of Alvin. That's just, just fandom talking. Hopefully he's back, but get a receiver and just, give Shough as much weapons as he possibly can. Let him cook. But I swear, they better not take offensive linemen, or I promise you, it's not going to be good. But keep doing what you're doing. Let me know what you think. Have a good day, bro.
Let me ask you this. Take out the position, okay? Like, let's not make it faceless. If I told you we could draft the Kelvin Banks of right tackles, would you rather us not do that and draft a wide receiver? Because I understand the offensive line fatigue to a certain extent, but if you trust this draft process, and if I told you they were going to hit just like they hit on Kelvin Banks, and all of a sudden now you've got Kelvin Banks and a Kelvin Banks-esque at right tackle and Fuaga at guard, and you know how Kellen wants to play, you know how this offense wants to run, and what's more important for a quarterback, a wide receiver or an offensive line? I understand the fatigue, but you can't deny the need, right? You can't deny that having one of the best offensive lines in football, I'm not saying the Saints do, but just theoretically, having one of the best offensive lines in football does trump having one of the best wide receivers in football, or a good wide receiver in football. Right? A good offensive line is better than a good receiver. And when you look at our receivers, and Chris Olave and just Devon Bailey, the need for a receiver is much lesser, right? Than if you look at our offensive line, and our guards are Dylan Radins and Cesar Ruiz. So the Saints have kind of walked themselves into a situation where more than likely the best player available is going to be an offensive lineman where they're drafting. And the biggest need is going to be an offensive lineman. So if you look at it through that lens, it's kind of hard to talk yourself out of an offensive lineman. So, I mean, again, I get it where people just are tired of seeing the offensive line draft. But if an offensive lineman is that good, or could be that good, I guess, and is a position of need, I'd be fine with it. I'd be totally fine with it. All right, next up is Paris. The city or the person?
What's up, James? Face of the franchise.
What's up, brother?
Man,
How's
I'm
it
on
going?
the road right now. It's Christmas Eve. I'm in
There
Texas, headed back to the Bayou right now, brother. Just want to let you know, love the show. Been watching for almost 2 years now. And I want to thank you, brother. I listened to your show, I guess, last week, where you talked about how Shough went from 250 to 1 to 25 to 1.
Yeah.
Hit up some of my boys, put some money down on it, called my brother-in-law in Louisiana. We got some money on that. Got a rack on the way.
Yes.
I'm really confident he's going to get it, James.
2 weeks away, pal. We're 2 weeks away. We beat Tennessee. Shough does what he's got to do. We put it on Atlanta. Shough does what he's got to do, and he'll be the rookie of the year.
Need a Seahawks shut down Ted McMillan.
Yep.
Need Shough to have a good game. I'm thinking 200, couple touchdowns, no picks, something like that. And
Oh,
like you said, a
that'd be
highlight play.
yeah.
I feel it in my veins, brother. It's coming. That's all I had to say about that, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Love the show. Fan for life, brother. Hope to run to you at a Superdome sometime. See ya.
I'll be there, man.
What's up, James? I called a few minutes ago, man, and I forgot one last little detail. I just got back my YouTube, the little rundown they give you of what you listen to most of the year. Guess who's at the top of the list, brother? Listen to you every day, dog. Love it, man. Keep up the good work. Who dat?
Who dat, man? Merry Christmas. I mean, Christmas Eve. He's barreling down the interstate in a sled, probably, or a sleigh. Gives me a call. I hope we win, man. I've said this before. I obviously want to win the Rookie of the Year bet, but I really want to win because it is the ultimate validation for each and every one of you watching this channel. You know, like this hombre right here in the sleigh. Number one on the YouTube recap. He spends every day watching the channel. What better of a way to be rewarded than however much money you stand to win on this bet? I mean, I can't think of a better cap to the season than that. A monetary gain like that. I mean, that's what I'm rooting for. Thank you for calling, man. I really do appreciate that. All right, next up, Kevin.
Face of the franchise.
What's up, Kevin? How's it going?
Kevin, man. I'm the one hit you up while I was in Buffalo Wild Wings, man. Get ready to turn over all the tables and now, man. After a couple of them, maybe a few of them tall boys, man, I was feeling myself, man.
Yeah.
Just the flow of the game was just getting to me, man. But I had a chance to step back, and check out the game, the highlights and everything after coming back to earth, And man, Tyler Shough, man, dude look nice. That's all I can say. I got people talking about, Shadua Sanders and all of that, this, that, and the third. Man, I'm like, listen, man, you have to pay attention to what your eyes are showing you, man.
Yeah.
The dude is protecting the football. He pushing the ball down the field. He making smart decisions with the ball.
Yep.
And Kellen Moore has been keeping these training wheels on this guy, but he slowly is taking it off. And I get it. You don't want to push him too hard in his first few starts. We could say that for next year. But I do believe that the Saints will find some nice talent because
I don't know if he does have the training wheels on. I mean, I think the training wheels were on. I think they were on really early, like maybe the first game, second game. But Shough has full control over this offense. I mean, he pushes the ball, he runs the ball. I mean, I don't think. I mean, of course, at some level, a rookie quarterback's going to have training wheels, but Shough is pretty much out there letting it rip.
Brandon Staley and Kellen Moore fingerprints were all over this draft class, and it's going to be all over this next draft class.
Agreed.
And I think they're building something beautiful here in New Orleans, man.
Agreed.
And it's just, it's like you say, it's what a time to be a Saints fan.
What a time, man.
I had my older sister, was supposed to be a huge Saints fan, but you could tell people who don't watch the games like they say they do, because the first thing I heard in a conversation was the Saints got all these old players. I'm like, what old players?
Yeah, who?
We all knew by next draft we're going to be the youngest franchise and roster in the NFL.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent, man. Dude, I just want to say again, man, I appreciate what you do. When I'm rolling, I'm an appliance technician. So when I'm rolling, man, the face of the franchise is on the speakers, man. It's all day long, man. All day, every day.
Unbelievable.
So I'm checking to see what you dropping, and I'm tuning in, listening in. And man, it's what you're doing. You the best at what you do, and nobody does it better, man. So
unbelievable.
Peace.
What a call. Damn, Kevin. Almost brought a tear to my eye. I appreciate that, man. And you are right. Like, this is such a unique season. And I feel like every single game recap, that's how I started. I was like, this is a kind of a unique game because this is a season where, and boy, do people hate hearing this, but you really do have to look past the results. I mean, there has never been a season more look past the results than this. Even like Devin Neal, right? If you just looked at the box score and you saw Devin Neal has 13 carries for 42 yards, you're like, well, that was kind of horrible. Like that's not great. But if you watch the game, it's like, damn, Devin Neal's working his ass off. He's churning and burning. Like, and then the record. You know, we had 2 wins, 3 wins. We don't feel like a 2-3 win team. Then 4 wins. We don't feel like a 4-win team. Then 5 wins. We don't feel like a 5-win team. If you just didn't watch the games and you just saw, oh, the Saints have 5 wins, it's like, disappointing season. LOL, right? Like, that's how it's been this entire, even Devon Vele. I just saw, let me pull it up. I just saw somebody, man, I'm trying to think who it was. It was someone on Twitter. Someone on Twitter, I think he might have been a Broncos fan, but he posted Devon Vele's stats, and he said, I can't believe the Broncos got a 4th-round pick for this production. And if you just look at the stats, okay, just look at these. Devon Vele, 25 catches for 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you just look at that, it's like, what the hell are we doing? Trading a 4th-round pick, and this is what he gave us in 2025. He gave us 25 catches and 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's it, right? But if you're watching the games, you're saying this guy might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. Like that's this year in a nutshell. This year in a nutshell is like how you perceive Devon Vele's stat line. Do you see 25 catches, 293 and 2 touchdowns and you're disappointed? Or have you watched the games and you know he's been playing out of his mind? This is like the definition of look past the results. It really is. And, you know, Mickey got Gumsmack and Mick got meme'd for saying that, but that is what the Saints are doing this year. And I agree 100% with you. Like, this is one of those seasons where you got to watch it. You got to watch it close. You got to really watch to see what's all actually happening. You can't just box score watch. All right. Good call. Great call, man. That was awesome. Next up is Divine Eternity.
What's up, face of the franchise?
What's up, brother?
I'm going to try to make this as short and simple as possible.
All right, go ahead.
I just wanted to get your take on something.
No, you came to the right
I'm not
place.
one of those people who really participate in sports betting.
Yeah.
But just for fun, I kind of already picked who I would like to see in the Super Bowl and who I think I will see in the Super Bowl. So that's my question to you is,
Okay.
Which 2 teams currently right now with only 2 games left in the season can you make out who you can see in the Super Bowl? Not necessarily who will win it because anything can happen. But for me personally, I've picked the Seattle Seahawks and Clint Kubiak to go to the Super Bowl. And the team that I have them playing is going to be, out the 2 teams I pick, is going to be a fun and historical Super Bowl. But from the AFC, I have Drake May and the New England Patriots. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun storyline with Pete Carroll with the Raiders right now, and we know how that last Super Bowl with Tom Brady went with the goal line disaster.
Yeah, with
and
the pick.
why didn't he get a ball to beast mode and things? And now
I actually did a video on that. I support the decision to throw there.
he's over with the Raiders, and he's like catching hell or whatever. But yeah, that's my pick, and I was just curious about, who do you see in the Super Bowl? I'm not picking Clint Kubiak and the Seahawks because they currently are leading the division right now. In the offseason, one of my hot takes on one of your videos was that Clint Kubiak and the Seahawks are going to win the division because, we seen what he can do last year with Derek Carr. And if that team didn't get injured, I think we probably would have made it to the next round in the playoffs. But yeah, we know what Clint can do, man. He's the real deal. But yeah, that's my pick: Seahawks and Patriots. Mike Vrabel, he's He's doing things over there in New England. I think it'll be a fun one to watch. Anything can happen. Sam Darnold, I guess he has to prove that, he can go to the playoffs and go deep into the playoffs first before
Yeah.
anything. But I think he could do it with Clint Kubiak. I believe in what Clint is doing. But I mean, this is a chance for Sam Darnold to prove that he doesn't fall in that category with, those quarterbacks who never get over the hump, like the Andy Daltons of the world, the Derek
Yeah,
Carrs,
he's
and
way past them already.
even Kirk Cousins, even that
yeah, man.
sort of level of quarterback play. But yeah, I mean, I think I could see Clint really pushing the Seahawks over the hump, man, and really getting them there. I think that team can actually win the Super Bowl. But what you think, man? Face of the franchise. I'm out.
All right, so let's talk about this from I'll try and do this from a betting perspective. Just kind of talk about value and just kind of like how you can like try and find a line, and then we'll go from there. So on DraftKings, a lot of books do this, but on DraftKings you can do like an exacta, which you can pick the exact result of the Super Bowl. You can also just name the finalists, so you can just say like Denver versus LA, Pittsburgh versus whatever. You can just name the finalists, or you can pick LA beats the Broncos, stuff like that, right? And huge numbers. Like these are 55-1, 22-1, whatever. So you can get big numbers in here. So now here's the playoff picture as it stands. And this will change, obviously. But the first thing you want to do is you want to look at the track they would have to the Super Bowl. All right. So let's say you let's just throw out like let's just say the Texans, okay? So I like the Texans, but I don't like the idea of them having to play on the road in every game, right? If they're the 7th seed, if they didn't win their division, like having a bye, having home field advantage, like those kind of things really matter in the playoffs. So even though I might think the Texans are better on a one-game basis than, I don't know, the Steelers, it's like, well, I'm probably not going to take the Texans because I just don't trust them to win, three road games. That is very hard to do. So the first thing I'm going to look at is home games and bye weeks. All right. Now here's something else. All right. The 49ers are kind of a sleeper team, because right now they're the 6th seed. But they control their own destiny to get the 1 seed. If the 49ers get the 1 seed, they get a bye, they get home field advantage. You've got a Kyle Shanahan team. That is a really good team to park value in. So if I'm picking right now, if I'm making an exacta bet, I'm making the 49ers my NFC team, because the value is insane. That right now they're the 6th, but they could easily be the 1 in, a couple weeks here. So let's go with 49ers first. All right, now let's go with the AFC. Denver is probably the team that you want to key in on because of the 1 seed, and it's hard to play a mile high, and Sean Payton and the defense. Like, they have a lot of stuff you want in a Super Bowl team. So like San Francisco, well, this is something else you want to do. So like let's say you have San Francisco and Denver, okay? If it does end up being Denver and San Francisco, you want to be able to monetize the Super Bowl. So you would probably take Denver, because Denver would be a favorite, I think, over San Francisco. So you'd take Denver to beat San Francisco. So where is that? Denver to beat the Rams. Where's Denver to beat Frisco? Denver beats the 49ers right here, 65-1. Now, if Denver did play the 49ers, and let's say you have $100 on this, okay? Then you would take San Francisco plus whatever their plus, because they would be dogs. And so let's say San Francisco is +3. So then you would take San Francisco +3 in the Super Bowl, and then you're hoping the middle. You're hoping Denver wins by 1, 2, or 3, and you're good to go. And if San Francisco does win, you would have hedged out with your San Francisco +3 to where you're still making money, okay? So right now, I would take Denver to beat San Francisco would be my first line. My second line and this one's kind of crazy, is Jacksonville. I think in the AFC, Jacksonville's probably playing the best right now. Now, you got some big Trevor Lawrence questions, but Jacksonville's kind of sweet. Like, they kind of do what you want a Super Bowl team to do, very similar to Denver. Play good defense, run the football, good coach, like all that, okay? I would much rather have Jacksonville than Pittsburgh or the Chargers or the Texans, because I talked about the Texans having to play on the road. Like, Jacksonville's, they win their division, so playing at home, something crazy happens with the 1 or the 2 seed, Jacksonville could have some home field advantage, whatever. All right, so Jacksonville and San Francisco. Jacksonville to beat Frisco is 90-1. San Francisco to beat Jacksonville. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can do some Control F here. Let's see, Jax. Okay, so San Francisco to beat Jacksonville is 80-1. All right, so those are those two. Now with huge bets like this, like our huge odds, you're better off taking a couple. So like, let's say you like San Francisco. Okay, who's your backup NFC team? I would say the Rams. I have way more faith in Sean McVay and I have way more faith in Sean McVay and Matt Stafford than McDonald and Sam Darnold. Okay, so I'm keying in on the 49ers and the Rams are my 2 teams out of the NFC. Okay, I don't like the Bears. Buccaneers are falling apart. Don't like the Panthers. Seahawks. I just don't think Sam Darnold can do it. I just have he's going to have to prove it. So that, and then the Eagles are kind of falling apart as well. So Rams, 49ers are my 2 NFC teams. All right. So you could do the exact same thing with the Rams. You could do LA to beat Denver or LA to beat Jacksonville, or however you want to do it, and then do the same thing with San Francisco, and you kind of have this combo to get you to the playoffs. But that's what I would do right now. That's what I would key in on. I liked Houston, but Houston had one of those situations where they had to finish strong. If they would have finished strong and won the division or had a high seed, I think Houston could have absolutely been a player, but their route is just too hard now. So LA to beat Jacksonville is 30-1. Jacksonville to beat the Rams is 40-1. So that's the 2 combinations I would make, or the 2 versions. I would have the San Francisco version, the LA version, and then Denver and Jacksonville out of the AFC. So those are my final 4, I guess, that I'm trying to move around to make combos with. Good question. Next up is Hurricane Mike.
Hey James, I just want to say I hope you had a very good Christmas, and I want to wish you a happy New Year.
Thank you.
And
Mike.
Also, I want to address this. Can we officially say now that the Saints have won the Marshawn Latimore trade? I mean, I know it's
that was said like 2 weeks after the trade.
It's early. I know it's all of their rookie season, but look at the guys that we got from Marshawn Latimore trade. We traded Marshawn Latimore to the Commanders for the picks that we used on these players: Jonas Sanker, Devin Neal, and Quincy Riley.
Yeah. Jonas
Sanker is one of, if not the best safety in this past year's draft. He's at least one of them. I'm not gonna pretend like I know every safety that came out of the draft. But
Nick Iwunmori has been incredible.
Look at the production we're getting with these guys, though. I mean, Quincy Riley, he's stepping up in a big way. Devin Neal, I know he got injured, but before that, he stepped up in a big way. And Jonas Sanker already described. I mean, Sanker had an interception on Sunday, and the Commanders are possibly going to release Latimore. So what you think, man? I think, it may not be officially official, but I think we probably 87% close to sealing the trade. Because Marshawn Latimore, that trade, I think, traded for our entire future. So what do you think about that?
I think it's officially official. I think they won that trade. And it was pretty obvious last year. Latimore was getting cooked at the back end of last year for the Commanders. It was one of those things where it just made sense for everybody. The Commanders were going for it. The Saints had no need. They had to get rid of some contracts, get some picks, whatever. So, yeah, that was a brilliant trade for the Saints. Said it back then. Say it now. It's officially official. Put the stamp on it. They won that trade. All right, next up is that young hombre named Johnny.
What's up, hot sauce?
What's up, big dog?
Thursday morning, 11 o'clock.
Christmas morning.
Getting ready to do a whole lot of nothing.
Was it Thursday morning or Friday morning? Thursday morning is Christmas morning. I got a feeling he meant Friday.
Watch a little football. I was just watching some of your videos. Scrolling the merch store.
Oh, okay. Hold on now.
I think I'm gonna pick me up that snapback white.
Ooh,
I like that.
which
I
one?
like that.
This one? This one?
The hot takes were you in the pot getting cooked. I
Oh,
like
I like
that.
that.
I like
Look
that.
at that. That's nice.
I like
That is
those
nice.
two. But as I
Yeah.
was looking through the merch store,
Yeah.
I noticed
Yeah.
that you got a brand new fan with no merch for that little dude. We're talking about Baby Saint.
Oh,
Shout
Baby
out to
Saint.
Baby Saint.
Shout out, Baby Saint.
I
Yeah.
mean, just a thought. Maybe a sippy cup for that coffee milk.
Damn, that's a good idea.
Maybe a little onesie or something, Baby Saint. Just a
I
thought.
like that. That's a good idea.
So I'm sitting here thinking, my son posed the question the other day about my fantasy team, my all-time team.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. So I got a similar one for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. In this fantasy world that we're in,
All right.
you are tasked with putting together a championship team. Everything is riding on the team you put together. All right.
Okay.
Here's the catch. The entire team is fresh hot doo-doo.
Garbage.
Nobody's good.
Complete trash.
Couldn't win a game to save their life.
Yeah.
But you're taken into this door, through this doorway.
All right.
And behind the door
A portal.
is every player in their prime,
Wow.
every head coach in their prime,
Wow. Okay.
and you get to pick one head coach,
All right.
2 offensive players, and 2 defensive players.
Okay.
Who you going with? Let me know.
That's an incredible question.
Best to ever do it. Face of the franchise.
That's an unbelievable question.
Keep it up.
Johnny, what a damn call. Johnny came correct. What a call. Wow. Okay. All-time head coach, all-time 2 offensive players, all-time 2 defensive players. I think defensive, is the easiest ones. All right. You have to take the 2 most impactful, like the 2 biggest game wreckers, right? The first 2 people that came to my mind, I would argue there's 3 that I think, there's 3 in my head. The first 3 were Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, and Aaron Donald. I think those are the 3 biggest game wreckers. Like the 3 just nothing we can do, nothing like in their prime, how they impacted the game. There's just nothing you can do. And they single-handedly dominated games, single-handedly changed outcomes of games. I think Lawrence Taylor has to be one. The other question is Aaron Donald or Reggie White. That's tough. I'll mix and match a little bit. I'd probably go Aaron Donald and Lawrence Taylor. I think those are your 2 most impactful. But Reggie White and Lawrence Taylor would be, you're not, you're not hurting anybody's feelings going with that. So snap call. I'll go Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald, and good luck. Right, like have fun, enjoy yourself, quarterbacks. Like good luck out there. Head coach is interesting because I think I'm going like the first person I'm thinking of is Sean McVay. Love Sean McVay. And it's a little bit of recency bias, obviously. But I do think you have to pick a coach now because they know so much more. Like there's just more to the game now. It's harder to be a coach now. There's more analytics. There's more innovation. There's more. Like if you take Vince Lombardi, what's he actually doing? Like let's just say this wouldn't be my combination, but let's say you take Vince Lombardi, Bijan Robinson and Lamar Jackson. Vince Lombardi's not going to know what to do. Vince Lombardi's never seen athletes like that. He's never seen players like that, right? Like if you take Vince Lombardi and you take Patrick Mahomes, is Lombardi just going to make him run it 70 times a game? Like you're kind of wasting him, right? So you got to have a coach that's so innovative and he can move the chess pieces around. So I think you have to take a current coach. I would take, again, snap call here. I'd take Sean McVay. Love him like a brother. So I'd take McVay. So I've got LT, Aaron Donald, and McVay. My two offensive players, obviously one has to be a quarterback. I mean, how do you not take Tom Brady, right? It's got to be Brady. He's the best quarterback to ever play the game by a pretty wide margin, I think. I think Tom Brady is... This is a controversial yet brave opinion. I actually made a video on this like 10 years ago. Maybe even before. Maybe even longer than that. I think Tom Brady is more of the GOAT in football than Michael Jordan is the GOAT in basketball. Because I think LeBron might be the GOAT in basketball. But I don't think there's anyone even remotely close to being in the conversation with Tom Brady. I would argue that New England Tom Brady is like, or Tom Brady from like 20 to 30 is, whatever, number one. And then Tom Brady from 30 to 40 is like number two. Like that's how big the gap is between Tom Brady at one and who the hell ever is at two. All right. Tom Brady's got to be number one. And I think you either go running back or wide receiver. Because again, you want to have the highest possible impact. So maybe you go Jerry Rice, because Jerry Rice's numbers are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. If you look at what he was doing in a time where you really didn't throw the ball that much. So you probably go Jerry. Like he's probably the most dominant wide receiver ever. Randy Moss is right there. I think the three best wide receivers ever are Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and Terrell Owens. But I guess you have to go Jerry Rice. And if you go running back, a lot of good options, but I think a wide receiver would probably be better, especially in today's NFL. So I'd probably go Jerry Rice, Tom Brady, Sean McVay, and then defensively LT and Aaron Donald. That's how I would do it. Hell of a question. That's the kind of question where you and your boys sit back with just 40 beers and you just talk about that for 10 hours straight. All right, next up. What a call, man. Next up is, let's go with Anonymous.
Hey, James.
Hey, how's it going?
Austin here. Wanted to come at you with a little question here, and you'll have to forgive me if my audio is bad. I'm driving.
That's good. Sounds good.
So I wanted to ask about he through whom the Saints offense runs Tyler Shough's chances at winning Rookie of the Year. I think it's a really huge kind of exclamation point on the end of this rebuilding year if Kellen Moore can have his second-round quarterback start for half the year, obviously, and win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think that's a great sign.
That would be nuts.
For the future. I think it gets fans excited. I think we theoretically could be in the mix this time next year for the playoffs.
Hell yeah.
If we handle free agency right and Shough continues to play like he's been playing. I just wanted to know if you could just give me a bare bones answer here. If Shough just plays like he's been playing the last few weeks for these last two games, it seems to me it's more likely than not.
Yeah, he wins. He wins the award. If he plays the exact same way that he's played the last couple of weeks and the Saints win, he will win Rookie of the Year. Unless Ted McMillan has like 10 catches, 180 yards or whatever against the Seahawks. That's the only way. If Shough plays how he's been playing, the only way he can lose is if McMillan goes absolutely insane and the Panthers win the division.
That he'll win it.
Yeah.
I mean, Ted McMillan's been doing well, but I think that the chances of Shough playing how he's been playing for the next two games is more likely than Ted McMillan having some monster game in any one of the next two games. I could see him actually being shut down.
Also, Tet has the Bryce Young problem, where if Bowles shuts down Bryce Young, that pseudo shuts down Ted McMillan. If the Seahawks shut down Bryce Young, that shuts down Ted McMillan. Right? So he's got Seahawks, Bucks. He's got Bryce Young. they got a lot in front of them. And if McMillan has a goose egg, if he has like 1 catch, 2 catch, 20 yards, no touchdowns against either Seattle or Tampa, he ain't winning the award. He has to have 2 big games against 2 tough opponents. Tyler Shough only has to have like an above average-ish game. Now, Shough can't implode. He can't lose to the Titans. He can't lose to the Falcons. He can't have 2 picks, no touchdowns, anything like that. But if he just does what he's been doing and the Saints win, I think he guarantees the award.
Seattle and, the Bucs. So I'm interested in your thoughts. Like I said, I'll be pulling for Tyler Shough. Obviously, I'm a fan of the franchise, a fan of the channel, and appreciate everything you're doing, brother. Looking forward to an off-season of content.
Unbelievable. Yeah, can you imagine the offseason of content if the Saints went out? Like, if they have 7 wins and we get 8 months of just, like, pure positivity, oh, my God. All right, next up, good call. Next up is Cesar Ruiz is this guy's name. That's not me saying it. That's this guy's name.
Hey, James. This is my first ever viewer voice message. First of all, shout out to you. The GOAT.
Shout out you.
The face of the franchise. Nobody does it better. Best channel
True.
on
That's
YouTube.
That's all true right there.
I was top 0.4% of listeners last year.
Unbelievable.
And I love viewer voice messages. Shout out Baby Saint. Shout out Podcast J. And huge shout out to my absolute favorite, Cool Sports Rhymes guy.
Triple shout out, man. Shout out to the listeners. Those are 3 good ones.
Always got the best rhymes. Love him like a brother.
There you go.
I took my Dolphins fan cousin to the Panthers game in the Dome. And let me just say, that Dome was absolutely rocking.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even at full capacity, but it sure sounded like it was. It sounded like it was over capacity. He said it was the best game he's ever been to. But I think that goes to show that the tanking narrative is over among real fans. Now, obviously, super casual fans, Lord bless them, they don't get it.
Right.
But I think among real fans, the whole tanking thing is done. That is over. Obviously, Skrmetta fans, we don't believe in it.
I had an interesting question posed to me on Twitter because I was talking about Max Crosby came out and said, like, tanking's dumb. He doesn't think about tanking. He doesn't care about the pick, whatever. And I was like, this is more evidence that tanking just isn't a thing. And someone asked me, would you tank for Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? And I said, well, it depends, because if I was the quarterback, I sure as hell wouldn't tank to have the team draft Tom Brady or Peyton Manning and replace me. If I was the head coach and I'm tanking so I get fired and the next coach gets to draft Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, I sure as hell wouldn't tank, right? Like, that is a perfect microcosm of the, like, why tanking doesn't work. Because at the highest level, like, yeah, of course, the front office, the owners, or whoever, yeah, they would rather have the top pick than the 6th pick, but they aren't on the field. Their motivations do not line up. And then people say, what about the Dolphins? Again, that's the perfect example of why tanking doesn't work. The ownership told Brian Flores, brother, we'll give you whatever it was, $50,000 for every loss. And Flores said, F you. And they kept winning. Like, there's every example of tanking is actually an example of not tanking. Lovie Smith with the Texans. They had the first overall pick, last game of the year. All he had to do was lose. He has Davis Mills as a starting quarterback. Not only do they win, he goes for 2 at the end of the game to win. And then he gets fired. Gerard Mayo with the Patriots, first overall pick. All they had to do was lose. He wins, gets fired. Right? Like, they don't care. The players don't care. They don't want to be replaced. Why would they want to be replaced? Why would they want to put bad film on tape to hurt their contract negotiations, hurt their chance of free agency, hurt their legacy? Why would Cam Jordan care about tanking? He's probably done. Like, why would Taesm Hill want to tank? The only people that quote-unquote want to tank are the people that aren't on the field. And the only people with the power to tank are the ones on the field. So yeah, tanking just never makes sense ever.
But like among the actual like lower cast of them, it's over. They want to see this team win. We have hope. But I think I don't know. I just wanted to hop on here and say there's some players we got to get rid of. And number one is my least favorite player on this team, Cesar Ruiz. He's got to go. I saw a video of him during the Panthers game. I didn't catch it on the field. If I would have, I probably would have puked. He got picked up and thrown to the side like a tin can by a grown man, and it was the most embarrassing thing in Saints history. He's got to go. I think we can address guard play in free agency. Maybe draft a guard to be kind of a backup.
Yeah,
on
a lot
either
of different
side.
options. Yeah.
Pete Werner is another one. I'm not super high on Pete Werner. I don't think he.
Pete is kind of a mixed bag. Like he'll have decent performances, then really bad performances, and he's still so young. Like I wonder if he's still trying to figure out this defense and trying to figure out his role in it, whatever. But a young guy like that, like I can still see some flashes in Pete Werner. I'm not ready to just like release him or whatever, but I mean. I would be okay with continuing to give him opportunities.
He's definitely not as bad as Cesar, but not good. Well, he's good behind the line. He's had his moments, but as far as overall, I don't think he's amazing. I think we could draft someone like the Weeks brothers or something like that. Kind of be that coverage linebacker, I'm just not high on him. But, yeah, Cesar Ruiz has got to go. This is after the Jets game. I mean, I know it's a little late to be talking about the Panthers game, but I just wanted to get on here and say no self-respecting NFL lineman should be getting tossed like a rag doll. And I think if we beef up this offensive line, Tyler Shough is already elevating this offense to a level that I couldn't even imagine at the beginning of this season, or middle of this season especially. But, man, he is really elevating. And I think if we get him some really good protection, man, we'll have one of the better offenses in at least the NFC South, but maybe even in the league. So that's all I wanted to say. Cesar Ruiz, I do not want to see you on my team next year. You're doo-doo. You're poo-poo. But high-key, low-key, low-key, high-key, the defense has been really good.
Yeah, they've been insane.
And
been nuts.
The receivers, I don't think, need to be addressed that much because Devon Vele and Chris Olave are really good. So, thank you.
Thank you. I think, I think Ruiz will be at some point. The plan will be to upgrade at the guard position, to say the least. So yeah, I think they're definitely keying in on, hey, how can we make the offensive line better? How can we make the interior offensive line better? And that is replacing Caesar. So I agree with you there. All right, next up, my boy Robert.
All right. What's up, James?
What's up, Robert?
Tapping back in, brother.
Get on in. Come on, man.
Made it back home after a long day, just sitting in my driveway. Got my legs up, car door open. Just thinking,
I mean, that's what it's all about. Sitting in your driveway, in your car, legs up, door open, just thinking. Just out there having yourself a think.
And I've been going to a lot of therapy lately, so I've been
good. Mental health's real deal, Holyfield, guys. Do not take it lightly. Go to therapy, talk to somebody, do what you got to do. People go to the gym to exercise their muscles. Why not go to therapy or go to whatever you got to do to exercise your brain? People go to the dentist every year, right? Some people go every 6 months. They go to the dentist, get their teeth checked, but no one goes and gets their brain checked. It's crazy. The most important thing, right? Your brain, your thoughts. And people treat it like it's 1975, where it's just, all right, well, whatever, hope it works. But if you hurt your leg, you go to the doctor. Brain hurts, no one does anything. So take care of yourselves out there, guys.
Assessing certain things about myself, opening up certain doors from my childhood. And, it would be so much harder to do all this without Tyler Shough being my quarterback and Kellen Moore being my offensive coordinator. It's just crazy how perfect of a rebuild this has been all around.
It really is.
I love my team. I love the trajectory they're going in. And it's crazy just last year. I remember watching all your videos. I mean, bro, you were part of the only reason I got through last year, dude. Like, I would watch the game, I'd watch your videos because because you're the GOAT.
Yep, true.
And, I mean, you just honestly have, you think the same that a lot of us Saints fans do, just have common sense,
Yeah.
But also, you are a brilliant mind on top of that.
I mean, depends on the
anyways, just happy to be alive, and who dat?
Unbelievable. Who dat? Keep taking care of yourself, brother. Keep calling in. We're all getting through this one day at a time. We're all getting through this together. And I mean, it's always better when your team's winning, you're having fun, you're enjoying things. It is a real slog whenever you're looking forward to the Saints game all week long, and then they go 35-3, and they don't move the ball, and it's like, Jesus, I just wasted my 3 hours. Like, this is a nightmare. So yeah, it's true. It does feel better when they're winning. You can cheer, you can forget whatever the hell stresses you got going on, and you can just watch the game for a couple hours, and that's what it's all about. So I remember, peel back the curtain a little bit here. I remember I was super, super, super stressed, super anxious, just all that stuff, and it just so happened to be around the time of the U.S. Open in tennis. And I casually watch tennis, whatever. I've never been like a big tennis guy, and I might watch like the majors and stuff. But and for whatever reason, it was just like a very calming thing for me to just at night, like, just go all in on the U.S. Open, and I would just watch like 5 hours of the U.S. Open every night. Just get home, turn it on, and I'm just watching like 3 matches in a row from like 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. every night for like 2 weeks, and that's just how it is sometimes. So, and it's much easier, of course, when it's your team, when it's your, like the New Orleans Saints, and there's something to cheer about. So I agree with you there, man. I agree. Keep it up, brother. All right, next up is Dwayne the Diehard, Triple D.
Mr. James, a.k.a. Dr. James, a.k.a. Mr. Face of the franchise.
Yes.
A.k.a. the James Skrmetta.
Yes.
Nobody does it better.
Nobody.
Somebody else said something along the lines of make the girls, but we going to keep it PG.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I didn't know where you were going there, but I was a little concerned.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Man, I just wanted to chime in, man, on the Tyler Shough rhetoric and the discussions and everything that I'm hearing, because, man, a couple months ago, it was said that this dude couldn't play and couldn't exist in the NFL. And now all of a sudden, because the narrative is changing, now people are bringing up the type of teams that he's playing. Oh, well, he can only win against divisional opponents. Well, we just debunked that. We just gave a whopping 308 yards to the Jets. With a I think he had like an 89 QB or whatever. But anyway, now what I'm thinking is, had Tyler Shough squandered this opportunity, had he lost those 3 games or those past games after the Rams game, he could have just laid down and been like, all right, whatever, we just got to finish out the season. The whole conversation would have been different. Oh man, yeah, he can't play, he sucks, Tyler Shough sucks, he's garbage, he's this, he's that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, why is it when he does bad, he gets ridiculed? When he does good, it's like, hey, we gonna give you credit, but it's always a but at the end of it. Like I just don't get it. And I know we have a fairly small sample size, but I feel like this man has proven every single hater wrong, especially if he goes out and wins Rookie of the Year. This dude almost has 2,000 plus almost has 2,000 passing yards. My bad, 2,000 passing yards in what 5 or 6 games played. Like, should that not mean anything?
Yeah, I think for sure he has any questions that anyone should have about Tyler Shough have been silenced. Now, as far as like what he will be long term, yeah, I mean, no one knows that, right? But there's no way you can watch what he's done and be like, I don't know, man. The book's still kind of out. No, it is not. He is the man. How long this will continue, I don't really care. But right now, he is as good as you could ask for from a rookie quarterback.
Like, even in the losses, this dude has been consistent.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So we don't need Tyler Shough to go out here and be this this world beater. We just need him to be serviceable.
But he kind of has been this world beater. Like, he kind of has been way more than serviceable.
We just need him to be just good enough to where we can get some pieces around him. Man, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm just tired of these, and it's not even more so like the Spencer Rattler fanboys or fangirls or the Tyler Shough haters and what. It's really just this insane couch potato football analyst rhetoric. I don't understand it. Then a lot of these dudes, a lot of these analysts that are talking and saying that he's overrated or he's this, he's that, have never played a down of professional football. We got 37U legends that are telling me and telling the world that Tyler Shough is a bum.
The 37U legend is crazy.
All right. Well, sorry to let y'all know, and sorry to put y'all on notice. Tyler Shough is the real deal.
Yeah, he is.
Sorry that he proved y'all wrong. Sorry that the arm angles and the throws that y'all are making fun of him for doing in the combine actually work in the NFL. Because y'all see Mahomes do it all the time. And just like, what's the announcer's name? Chris Collinsworth. Y'all be having Mahomes boing in his mouth when he do what he do. You know what I'm saying? But man, James, I want to hear your thoughts and where you think the team is headed. I think that I'm just glad that we have a lot of rookies that are producing.
Oh yeah, we got a ton of young players.
Right now. Quincy Riley, Jonas Sanker, Tyler Shough, Devin Neal when he was healthy. Kelvin Banks, even though he looked a little shaky some snaps, but that's expected from a rookie left tackle. But man, I'm excited, bro. I'm thoroughly impressed with how the rookies have stepped up and really took charge of this team. And it's kind of looking the December Saints, man. The December Saints, bro. You can't get enough of it. Winning season or losing season. The December Saints, bro. But yeah, man, James, give me your thoughts on that. I know I was rambling. This is one of my longer voice memos. I didn't want to take the 4 or 5 minutes, so we're gonna stop at 4:30.
Dwayne, man, you could take 10 minutes. I wish I could. I mean, great call. Dwayne, the diehard, knows what's going on. Triple D, always a pleasure to listen to you go. Man, I didn't even really interrupt you. I just kind of let you go. Yeah, I mean, like, there's probably a psychological aspect to it, right? Like, people don't like to be wrong. People don't want to be proven wrong, whatever. And I think a good sign of intelligence just in life is to take data points as you get them and be willing to move off of prior thoughts or whatever and take the new information and go from there. You know, like, I have no problem with somebody seeing Tyler Shough's combine or tape at Louisville or whatever and being like, I don't know, man. I got a lot of question marks. And then to be like, okay, well, never mind. Questions have been answered. Same with like Devon Vele. I think it was Nick or on one of his videos was like, hey, all right, I was wrong about Devon Vele. Like, I think like anybody, it would have been totally normal to watch the Devon Vele trade and be like, what the hell are we doing? And then the first couple of games go, he doesn't have a target. Why did we trade him for him? What is going on? And then now to be like, all right, never mind. I see it. Okay, I see the vision. We're good. We're good to go. All righty. Like, there's a lot of times you go to a restaurant, right? And it's like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to go to this restaurant. I want to go somewhere else. I've never been to this place. I heard it was ass. And then you eat the food and you're like, all right, never mind. This place is sweet. Okay, I like this place now. That's fine. That's human nature. right? The worst thing to do, though, is to go to the restaurant, eat the food, like the food, but then be so prideful that you're like, okay, I can't admit that I like the food, so I have to still say it's doo-doo, even though I do like it, right? Like I wasn't, I was young at the time, but I'm sure there were a lot of Patriots fans who were like, let's stick with Drew Bledsoe. Like Tom Brady caught lightning in a bottle. He's he was a late draft pick. He didn't even play in Michigan. Yeah, we won the Super Bowl, but did he just get lucky? I guarantee you that was the narrative. He just got lucky. He just got fortunate. Oh, this was just whatever. There's no way he can keep it up. But after like 5 or 6 years later, it would have been nuts to be like, I don't know, man. Maybe this Tom Brady guy can just beat bad team. Maybe he's just maybe this, maybe that. Like at a certain point, you gotta just put your hands up and say, okay, like all right, Tom Brady's the man. Like I'm glad we moved off Drew Bledsoe or whatever, right? So I'm not saying Tyler Shough's Tom Brady, but I have no problem with being concerned about a pick or questioning a pick or being, whatever, a trade, and then seeing it play out and be like, okay, all right, we're good to go. I remember when Cam Newton was coming out, I said the Panthers should have stuck with Jimmy Clausen, right? Very quickly, I was like, you know what? All right, they made the right call. Yep, it was better to draft Cam Newton than stick with Jimmy Clausen. Okay, after a couple of years, it would have been crazy if I was like, I don't know, guys. Jimmy Clausen probably could have done this. Like, no, he could not. You know what I mean? So you just gotta accept what you're seeing, accept what's in front of you, take it game by game, and go from there. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that now it is funny how now it's like, yeah, well, the Saints just beat bad teams. It's like it wasn't too long ago the Saints were considered a bad team, my boy. All right, next up is Anonymous.
What's up, James?
What's up, man?
I'm calling from St. Augustine, Florida. Been a lifelong Saints fan, originally from Slidell, Louisiana, and a big fan of yours the last year or so. I think I saw one of your posts on Reddit, and just been watching every video I think since, dude. So keep up the great work.
Thank you, brother.
Love the production, and keep it rolling. But the point of this call is that I'm watching this 49ers Colts game right now, Monday Night Football, and just seeing that first drive with Phillip Rivers seem to be commanding the game, like he's...
Yeah, things got a little sideways for the Colts later on, but...
That, when you call a quarterback a general, that would have seemed to be like, that early 2010s type quarterback of they're going up there and making adjustments. They're calling out some things that seem a lot more complex than the normal just kill that we hear nowadays that usually just defaults to a running back draw up the middle or something like that. And so, I don't know. Do you think that is a result of people just pushing quarterbacks into the starting position quicker? Because I don't think Rivers really sat at all. Really, no. When he first got drafted, I just don't know.
Well, yeah, the Breeze situation, right? That's what led to San Diego moving off of Breeze.
With it, kind of seems like they're making the position of quarterback a not as big mental position, if that makes sense. I know it's not the best English grammar there. Probably could have worded that better, but hey, I'm not the guy behind the camera. That's you.
Yeah, sure, it's okay.
And so I was just kind of wondering what you think about quarterback positions with that, and also too, if you think, because that's something I've noticed this year, I'm sure many have. A lot of teams, I mean, 3 specifically on my mind, that have lost their offensive coordinator for a starting head coach job. We got the Lions, we got the Eagles. Shout out Kellen Moore, the man. And we got
Buccaneers,
the Bucks, which are giving the Jags fans hope, which is good for them. They need it. I'm not bought in.
Oh yeah, you're down there in St. Aug,
30 minutes south of Jacksonville. The Jags will still be Jags. I'm not calling it. I'm not saying place the money they're going to lose or whatever. But the Jags are the Jags. They'll find a way. Even with a new coach, I think it's just a cursed organization. I don't know if Shad Khan's mustache got a little bad voodoo on it, but it's been cursed way before that. So I don't know. Maybe they built the stadium on an Indian burial ground. Who knows? But
in Florida, who knows?
All the offensive coordinators leaving, and it seems like each team took a pretty big step back. Like the Eagles are still in it. I think they clinched a playoff spot. But I think this kind of lines up with how quarterbacks are treated and how offensive coordinators are almost like I don't know, as important as the quarterback, which I get, like obviously I don't think Drew Brees is as good as he is without Sean Payton, so it's not like this is a new thing. But it really is just an odd thing to see with like how Phillip Rivers can come in, 44 years old, and also just the juxtaposition of that quarterback room. You got, Phillip Rivers and Anthony Richardson, just the complete
Total
opposite
opposites,
of each other. Like you got one just the athletic freak, and then you got the other Anthony Richardson. But you just see a guy like Phillip Rivers come in looking like Elon Musk on that yacht photo, and he somehow is just tearing it up still.
Yeah.
Because I think that is just the ball knowledge thing. So you think that's a thing that is just gone in the days of the NFL? It's just a thing we'll look back at, or do you just think it's just a trend? Kind of like all sports. Like scoring and yardage isn't as high as it was, 10 years ago. There's a bunch of adjustments and whatnot that happened for that. And then the whole adjustment with running backs not getting trained as well or valued as much, and now they're coming around again. Do you think that's something we're going to see soon with quarterback position, where you get back to more of an actual field general who's calling out these things and making plays?
Yes.
And I just want to hear your opinion on that. So thanks, man. I appreciate all the content, dude. Also, I see you this last week. You're saying I'm not doing 3 videos again this week. Sorry, fellas. And then Monday, first day, hitting us with 3 videos. So
Boom.
shout out for that, dude. All right, and Merry Christmas, dude.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Take it easy. Hope it don't snow on you again this year. But
no snow here so far. I like the snow, actually. All right, so the quarterback thing is something we've talked about a little bit, so I'll try and be quick. But so a couple of years ago, what was in vogue, right? It's like the big arm quarterback, physically dominant, be able to run around, all that stuff. Well, then defense has changed. Defense has said, all right, we're not allowing the deep ball. We're not allowing these big explosive plays. We're going to try and trick the quarterbacks, and we're going to simulate all this pressure. We're going to simulate all this stuff. You can go back to when Belichick and Fangio did it first, and then Belichick took it. But how they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. Then every defense said, okay, we're going to do that. And it's basically tricking the quarterbacks and not allowing the big play. But they're allowing the short stuff. Who does that negatively impact the most? It negatively impacts the quarterbacks who are relying on their physical skills. Because now no one throws the ball deep. Like, no one really throws the ball. Like, you don't see 300-yard games like you used to. You don't see 5,000-yard passers like you used to because everything's so short, right? So if everything is so short, having a rocket arm like Anthony Richardson, it doesn't really matter. You're only going to be throwing like relatively short to intermediate routes anyways. You're not taking the ball, or you're not taking the top off the defense anymore, right? It's just a change. So who does that benefit? It benefits quarterbacks who can identify what's going on with the defense, especially pre-snap, figuring it out and knowing what throw to make and the timing and the efficiency to make it. So it's not a surprise that all of a sudden Sam Darnold's really good, right? It's not a surprise that Phillip Rivers can do what he's doing. Like Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, guys who have been around, guys who understand defenses, and now they're asked, hey man, just make the throw. They're not asked to throw for 400 yards. They're not asked to bomb the ball downfield. It's a very quick, efficient thing. The offensive coordinator, same thing. Now, offensive coordinators have to get way more creative to find openings in the zone, find safe throws, all that. So to have the offensive coordinator that understands these defenses, that can beat these defenses and find the open zone or find the way to get their players yak or whatever, yeah, it's a huge deal. You can't just say, we're just going to bomb it, let it rip downfield. It just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. So Anthony Richardson came in at the worst possible time. If Richardson would have came in 10 years ago, he'd been good to go. But he came in where his powers really aren't useful right now. They're not really useful to scramble around because the defense is just sitting in a zone, allowing a quarterback to run for 5 or 6 yards, and they tackle him. Him having this arm isn't really useful right now because no one's being asked to make a 50, 60-yard throw. You're being asked to make a 16-yard throw or a 6-yard throw, right? Rivers, he was throwing knuckleballs, but he knew exactly where to throw them, and he knew exactly the safe throw to make. So, yeah, there's definitely a shift right now in quarterbacks and all that. So it's definitely getting back to that field general kind of thing versus just like this physical freak who can win the game with their legs and in a powerful arm. Like Josh Allen, if you watch the Bills, the Bills look so disjointed a lot of the time because they can't throw deep. So then all it becomes is Josh Allen checking down in the flats. That's all they do is like check down in the flats, screens, all that. But it's like, well, Josh Allen's, rocket arm really isn't even being utilized. Certainly not how it was a few years ago. All right. Next up is Bees.
What's crack-a-lackin', James?
What's up, man? How's it going?
This is a couple hours after the Saints dominated the Jets.
Yes.
It feels good.
Feels
great
to
walk in as the favorite and actually
dominate,
get the dub. And not only get the dub as a favorite, but to dominate as the favorite. I mean, it feels great. Something that for the past couple of years could not be said. It could, for the most part, in the Dennis Allen era, we'd walk in as the favorite and we would
just get rolled. Yeah.
And that didn't happen today. And we expected them to dominate, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head that says,
well, PTSD.
We've been here before.
Yeah.
We've been here before, and I know what we do. But hey.
New time. New era.
And I wanted to say I had a conversation with my friend after the game, and he says, it feels good to be a Saints fan. And I couldn't agree more.
Agreed.
I could not agree more. And I say all of that to say, this entire time, I've been a Mickey Lumis truther. I've been one of his greatest soldiers.
Right.
In the trenches. Now, personally, I feel like it's redundant to, go out there and defend him under every post and all this kind of stuff because it's just exhausting. I mean, there is a bit of an echo chamber of hate for Mickey Lumis.
Yeah.
And I think not only is it egregious, but it is just it just behooves me in a way that nothing has behooved me before.
Befuddles. I think you mean befuddles.
Because, yes, you can look at his failures. He hired Dennis Allen. He kept Pete Carmichael. And
the Allen thing is whatever. The Allen thing, that one's like, okay, I could see that. The Carmichael one was the boosty poopsie.
I think we could both agree that the only time that faith has been waned in Mickey Lumis was when he decided not to fire Pete Carmichael. He finally did it, and he made the right.
Well, that's what was kind of funny, too, is that they tried, kind of, and Allen talked Carmichael into taking the job again. Carmichael didn't even want to do it the second year. He was like, this is not working, and Allen talked him into doing it again.
Decision in hiring Clint Kubiak. You could argue that he probably should have fired Dennis Allen that year. But, it was a baby step. Didn't fire Dennis Allen, but at least you get a guy like Clint Kubiak in the building. And obviously he's proven that was a good hire. That was a great hire.
Yep.
And, a lot of people point to his draft failures. And on the surface, yes, it does look like he is, not great in the draft room. But I would say that is more indicative of the coaching regime that was in place during those drafts.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's any coincidence that the 1 year that you have a competent coaching staff is the 1 year that you nail the draft. I don't think it's any coincidence.
I mean, y'all know how I stand on it. I don't think he really does a lot with the draft. Like, I don't think he's really grading out players or what. That's just not really what he does. He's a finance guy. I think he does give his coaches a ton of. It's probably like an 80-20 kind of thing between the coaches and everyone else. And Mickey's probably a small part of that 20 because then you got the personnel department, scouting team, the assistant coaches, whatever. So I don't think Mickey really should get a lot of credit or blame for the draft. Like, it's just not his bag. I know GMs are always going to get that blame, but you know, like Sean, like there were draft misses when Sean Payton was the head coach. But no one's going to deny that Sean can't draft, right? Like, there's been hits. Same with Kellen Moore. Like, there's a lot of hits with Kellen. There will be misses. But it's not, you know, it just happens. And the Saints, too, something else, like, their misses in the grand scheme of things, it's like, you know, whatever. I mean, Cesar Ruiz thing, the Trevor Penning thing, the Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner, and Isaiah Foskey, it's like Foskey was the 40th overall pick. Who cares? You know, like, whatever. You know, San Francisco, they're one of the best drafting teams in the league. They're one of the best roster developing teams in the league. They missed on Trey Lance in an enormous way, traded up to get him. 3rd overall. You know, so it happens for sure. But the Saints, like, you know, diabolical franchise-altering misses, if those are Peyton Turner, Isaiah Foskey, Marcus Davenport, Trevor Penning, and Cesar Ruiz, I mean, whatever. Who cares? Like, that's not, as far as draft misses, like, if that's it, then okay.
You don't draft well for 20 years, and then all of a sudden you just lose that magic touch. Why? Because Mickey Lumis isn't the one who's watching tape and drafting these guys.
Yeah.
It's the coaching staffs.
Right.
And that's why I don't think it's any coincidence that the first time we have a competent coaching staff that we actually draft well. And not only well, but the way it's looking right now, this could be one of the best drafts in a very long line of studded drafts.
Yeah, it could be the best ever.
I mean, if you get
for the Saints,
your cornerstone left tackle and your franchise quarterback in the same draft, I mean, wow, you can't ask for a better draft than that. And that's not even including all of the starter level players that we got all the way down into the 6th round. I mean, come on. I'm getting fired up.
I mean, here's the deal. Like, if you just look at the coaches, you know, like, Mickey's hired 3 offensive coaches in 20 years. Sean Payton, Clint Kubiak, and Kellen Moore. Like, play callers. You know, like, Carmichael was an offensive coordinator, but he's not calling plays. Now Smyer's an offensive coordinator, but he's not calling plays. Like, that's who he's, like, that, I mean, that's pretty damn strong.
But, shoot. I say that to say, let Mickey cook.
Yeah.
Let Kellen cook. Let this team cook, because we are on the up, and every single week, more evidence to support that comes. And boy, oh boy, it's coming. Pause.
Yeah, pause. Yeah, I mean, I've seen, yeah, it's just, it really is just a boogeyman thing where people just have learned to kind of hate Mickey Loomis and learned to hate that. And I've seen people in YouTube comments this week who are like, this still doesn't make me not hate Mickey Loomis, LOL. You know, it's just kind of a meme. It's just kind of it was just such low-hanging fruit for such a long time, and people just needed something to hate, and it just became Mickey. And I don't think he really deserves a lot of credit nor blame. Same with Gail. Like, I've always said that. What the hell do y'all think Gail is actually doing with the roster? Y'all think I saw someone who was like, Gail Benson wouldn't know who Luke Fortner is if he walked in her office. I wouldn't know who Luke Fortner is if he walked in my apartment. And I watch every game. I don't know what he looked like. I wouldn't, if I saw Luke Fortner on the street, I wouldn't be like, oh my God, is that Luke Fortner? You know, like, what does that even mean? Do y'all, like, I think there's just a real confusion of who does what roles people have, like how things actually work, all of that. But, you know, it's human nature, I guess. All right, next up is Baby Saint's dad.
Face of the franchise.
Yes.
Baby
Blinker usage, always good to hear.
Saint's dad here with Mama Saint and Baby Saint in the back. So sorry
the triple threat.
Crying.
That's okay.
But we just finished the Jets game. This is like at 1:21 Pacific time. I wanted to get my thoughts in before I see your video because I want to see if our thoughts align.
Okay.
Little bit of a frustrating game.
Yeah, the beginning.
at the beginning especially.
Yeah.
But I think I'm okay with it because Kellen Moore was trying to get Taysom Hill his farewell tour.
Yeah, it was wild.
I don't know if you actually do that in a serious game.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Or the game plan with Taysom Hill, with going on the 4th and 1, with throwing to him that touchdown that was called back, and then having him throw a touchdown to Chris Olave.
Yeah, he was.
It would have been nice to have Tyler Shough to have Tyler Shough have that on his stats.
Yeah.
But I think this is this it for Taysom Hill? Is he?
I mean, damn, I guess so.
Retiring for his last home game? I think that's it, man. Right?
Yeah,
that's the whole reason why they have him throwing touchdowns and going on the 4th and 1s and having him so involved in the offense because I think that's the story. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts there, bro? Yeah, see you, man. See you in the next video.
No, I'm exactly my thoughts. My thoughts during the beginning of the game was like, what the hell are we doing? And then at the end of the game, I'm like, did we just prioritize Taysom Hill's swan song, tip of the cap? I guess we did. Damn, what a player's coach. Yeah, that was nuts. Blew my mind. You're exactly right. It's exactly what he was doing. And kind of crazy to look back on. It's kind of crazy to look back and be like, damn, Kellen cared that much about his players that he was willing to risk the entire game basically to make that happen. Nuts. But yeah, I mean, you are correct. You were seeing things clear in that one. All right, next up is the man, the myth, the legend, Cool Sports Rhymes guy.
What's happening, James?
What's up, man?
It is Monday, the day after the 29-6 blowout win against the New York Jets. Today I want to talk about Francis Mauigoa, the offensive lineman from the Miami Hurricanes, and I want to try to make a few points to try to convince our fans why I think he should be our first pick in this upcoming draft. If he's available when we pick, of course, there's a chance he might not even be available when we pick. But if I'm Mickey Lumis and if I'm Kellen Moore, I'm definitely taking him with that first pick if he's available. And I get that fans hate the idea of us drafting an offensive lineman in the first round again.
Right.
And I get that it's not an exciting pick.
True.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we can't use playmakers. And I'm not saying that having playmakers is not important, don't get me wrong. But in my opinion, it's more important to have a good offensive line. And we are definitely not set at those two guard positions. I believe we definitely need upgrades at the two guard positions. I don't think we have the guys we need at those positions. And again, my idea behind drafting Francis Mauigoa is not to replace Tyler Fuaga, but the idea would be for him to lock down that right tackle position and for Fuaga to maybe lock down one of the two guard positions.
Right. Two birds with one stone.
And then, like you said, that would make the pick even more valuable because you would be taking care of two positions instead of just one.
Right.
Now, this season, we have had one of the worst running games in the league. I don't know if we're at the very bottom or the absolute worst, but I know we're
definitely in the conversation. Yeah.
And that's a lot to do with the inconsistency of our offensive line.
Yeah.
For example, take this game against the Jets. I didn't look at the stats, but I'd be willing to bet that we probably didn't even get 100 yards rushing this game. But we won, of course, because our defense is dominant, and Tyler Shough did his thing through the air. Of course, he had 300 yards passing the ball. So my thing is, what good is it? What good would it be to draft Jeremiah Love, but our offensive line can't create any lanes or get enough push for him to run the ball? What good would it be for Shough to hand him the ball? Then as soon as he gets the ball, you got two guys there to meet him in the backfield. Or what good would it be to draft Carnell Tate if our offensive line can't give Shough enough protection and enough time to be able to throw the ball to him? In my opinion, it could be like another Ashton Jeanty type of situation. Look at Ashton Jeanty with the Raiders. I think Ashton Jeanty is a talented running back, but he's struggling because he's on a bad team with a bad offensive line.
Yeah.
And then take Saquon Barkley, for example. Look how Saquon Barkley had a career year last year. Do you think it's a coincidence that after he left the Giants, a bad team with a bad offensive line, and then went to the Eagles, a good team with one of the best offensive lines in the league, that he all of a sudden has a career year? In my opinion, that's not a coincidence. And Saquon Barkley has always been a talented running back since he's been in the league, but when you're on a bad team with the offensive line, then it makes it hard for you to be able to do anything. And then also, I guess my last point is, think about this. Do you think it's harder, or do you think it's easier to find a good offensive lineman, or do you think it's easier to find a good running back? In my opinion, it's easier to find a good running back than it is to find a good offensive lineman. Now, am I saying that it's impossible to find a good offensive lineman in the second, third, fourth, or later rounds? No, I'm not. We've had a lot of Pro Bowl offensive linemen that have been drafted in the later rounds. But to me, it's not as much of a sure thing as if you would take a Francis Mauigoa or take like a Kelvin Banks. If we draft the offensive lineman in the later rounds, is a chance, more of a chance that they might be like another Cesar Ruiz or another Trevor Penning.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Like, a lot of people have been saying that, where it's like, no, draft a guard in the third round. It's like, well, how do you know the guard in the third round would be good? Like, you could say that about any position. Like, no, don't take a wide receiver. Take the wide receiver in the third round. Like, well, I mean, yeah, you could take a player in any round, but it doesn't mean they're going to be good. You know, it's like, it's more, I kind of said this earlier in this video, but it's more about what, if Kellen thinks Francis Mauigoa is a Kelvin Banks type player, and if he thinks Carnell Tate is a above average wide receiver, then yeah, you take Mauigoa. Now, if he thinks Carnell Tate is the next whatever top 10 wide receiver, and he thinks Mauigoa is just kind of an average, then yeah, take Carnell Tate. Like, that's really what matters. But if you're looking at it just from a positional need standpoint, I think it's pretty obvious the Saints need to boost their offensive line more than they need to boost their wide receiver room.
So, I mean, and you said in previous videos, like, would you rather draft another position of need and then take Quinshawn Judkins in the second round, or would you rather draft another position of need and take an Alvin Kamara in a third round? So to me, it's easier to find a good running back than it is to find a good offensive lineman. But that's all I got, and I will continue to enjoy your great content. Keep up the good work, face of the franchise.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. You're an absolute Hall of Fame caller. Here's another way to look at it, and there's not really a right or wrong answer. But if I told you that the Saints could draft either Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase, I think a lot of people would say Jamar Chase because he's exciting or whatever. But you can see where it's like, well, Penei Sewell would be absolutely sick to have for the Saints. You know, like, that sometimes there's no right or wrong answer. Like, if both players are good, fine. You know, like, yeah, having Jamar Chase would be cool. Having Penei Sewell would be cool. Penei Sewell is probably the better pick in the long run for the Saints, but you're not going to be mad taking Jamar Chase, right? So even if both are good, because a lot of the times the conversation is, well, why take offensive lineman when you can take one later? Why take wide receiver when you can take one later? But just pretend they're both, like, you hit both picks, you know? If you told Kellen, hey, man, you can either draft Penei Sewell or Jamar Chase for the Saints right now, I could definitely see Kellen taking Penei Sewell, because Kellen wants to build from the inside out. He wants to run the football. Like, so, and knee-jerk, right now, if I had to pick one of those two, I would draft Penei Sewell for the Saints over Jamar Chase, which sounds kind of crazy, but it is what it is. All right, next up is Podcast J.
Oh, man, 7:52 p.m. Game just ended. Pittsburgh and Detroit. Unbelievable. Detroit was getting bailed out like crazy end of the game. The last couple, inside.
Yeah, that was a nuts ending.
I think this game was well deserved by Pittsburgh. But who gives a damn?
Let's
right,
go.
Right,
yeah.
James. Who really gives a damn about
who cares?
those guys?
Yeah.
Who that is back?
We're all the way back.
Tyler Shough, 300 yards. I mean,
how crazy is this? The Saints were forcing Taesm Hill the ball. 12 carries, 6 targets. Okay? Doing everything they can to get Taesm the ball in a 29-6 win. And Tyler Shough still throws the ball for 50 times for 308 yards. That's crazy.
I ain't gonna lie. During the game, I was kind of underwhelmed, like watching it, because I'm like, we supposed to be blowing them out the water. But then, James, I thought about it. We're depleted how they're depleted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not defensively, offensively. Offensive line, playmakers. AK has yet to be a part of any of these winning stints.
Yep.
Now I'm just sitting here like I'm excited about the win, but I think it could have been bigger for Shough. That touchdown should have been his.
Yeah. You know, if he had 2 touchdowns, if he had 308 2 touchdowns, yeah, we're cooking with Crisco.
You know what I mean? Overall, man, we still got the dub, but it's like mixed emotions a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Happy we got the dub, of course. Just think Shough, he could have not saying it was on him, but like that Taesm touchdown, I wish that was him. Then he got one call back.
Yeah, I agree.
Olave dropped one. Like the numbers could have looked.
Yeah, that was kind of a bad throw. The Olave drop on the side where he had to jump up and get it. That should have been more like on a line.
Unbelievably better, in my opinion, which would have boosted the offensive rookie of the year. Like, he would have probably blew it out the water with this game.
Yeah. But how crazy is that? Talk about a turnaround, too. It's like, kind of a disappointing game. Could have been better. And he's got 50 passes for 308 yards, a touchdown, no picks. And Chris Olave's got 10 for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Like this right here is like, Jesus, what? This is an offensive explosion. But the way that they've been playing, this is kind of like, yeah, okay game, but they probably left a little bit on the field. And they did. If Taesm doesn't fumble in the first possession, Olave probably has at least 2 more catches, I would think. Shough probably has at least another 30, 40 yards, maybe another touchdown. For sure. This could have easily been 350, 2-3 touchdowns, 15 catches, 200 yards, like no doubt.
He out there throwing the plumbers and, like you said, a gallon of milk, fried bologna sandwiches with the mayonnaise, man.
Yeah.
We're talking about tuna fish sandwiches. Like that, those are the guys that he's throwing to, you know, lunchbox at halftime workers. Like those are, like, I love estimating them. Don't get it twisted, man. I think this was kind of I'm not gonna lie, knowing Taesm Hill, I would honestly be surprised if him and Cameron Jordan retire. If we end off strong this year,
I think Taesm retires because of his contract. I think Cam absolutely could get an extension or whatever, reworked, however they're going to do it, and come back. But I think Taesum's. I don't think they. I don't think he comes back. But like, look at this. Taesm has 6 targets. Mason Tipton has 5. Kevin Austin Jr. has 3. Audric Estime has 4. Right. So that's let's see. There's 11. So 18 targets. 18 targets in this game were to the combination of Taesm Hill, Mason Tipton, Kevin Austin Jr., and Audric Estime.
They might be like, hold on, we might be building something. I think we might stick around. I would be surprised if they retire. I know everybody's saying, Taesm Hill's speech at the end of the game. I heard it as well. It was kind of bittersweet a little bit.
Yeah.
Who really knows? But me personally, I don't think so. I mean, it would make sense if he did. But why not just keep him around? You know what I'm saying? He's a veteran. Leadership, man.
Yeah, if he said, yeah, I'll come play for the veteran minimum, yeah, whatever.
That plays a lot. We have a really, really young team. Jonas balled out. I think Tyler looked really good. I think at halftime he threw over 30 attempts, pass attempts. That's huge. Olave had his coming out game like crazy, and his numbers could have been bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel good about it. I think I'll feel a little better if Tyler Shough, because really what I'm on now, James, is we know how our quarterback can ball, but I don't think the media is really catching on. That's why I wish
slowly they are
for him.
Slowly they are.
For his narrative, especially. We're on the right path, man. Hey, James, we love you, dog.
No. Merry Christmas, pal.
Oh yeah, I heard it. Like, I'm not out there right now. I'm in Atlanta right now.
Yeah.
I heard the dome rocking when they panned the camera.
Brother, it was. I'll tell you this right now. It is as loud. It was as loud as I've heard it in a long time. And that was a 4-win turning into a 5-win team against Brady Cook and the 3-win Jets.
Said, oh my goodness, like, are we really back? Is the fans really bought in? Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of our fan base is they have zero ball knowledge. They just look at wins, losses, the person in college tape, and they, you know what I mean. But the dome it looked like, I know you was in that atmosphere. It really looked like it was rocking on like big time.
I can attest. It was. I can tell you right now, it was as loud They are fully bought in. When we were leaving the dome, people were hugging in the aisle. People were high fiving the workers that were in there, like like the aisle people that are like making sure people are sitting in the right seats, high fiving. It was a big time atmosphere. If the Falcons game to end the season was at home, they might have to take the damn roof off the dome because it would be so loud in there.
Yeah, man. Hey, I feel good.
I feel great.
Hey James, we appreciate you, dog.
I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you. I'm kind of mixed emotions right now about the game a little bit. Wanted my dog to ball out.
Yeah.
Skrmetta verse, it's your world, big dog. We just living in it, man.
Unbelievable. Hall of Fame caller right there, ladies and gentlemen. Doing what he does best. Great call. I hear you, but it's just one of those things you got. I mean, it is such a mixed bag with this game because it's like it did start so ugly and there was some like chunky bits there, but then you look at this and it's like, damn. Yeah, Tyler did leave a lot, or the whole offense left a lot on the play. That kicked 6 field goals, right? You kick 6 field goals, and you still end up with this. I mean, you just cut that in half, right? There's 3 touchdowns left on the board. You convert some of those. Where they go? Does Tyler have 4 touchdowns? Is he like who knows? We left a lot on the table, and we still ended up with this stat line for these guys. Crazy, man. All right, next up, Joseph Schneider.
Hey, what's up, James, brother?
Hey, man, how's it
Face
going?
of the franchise, face of the hottest team in the NFL right now.
True.
Man, imagine before the season started, I told you that the rebuilding Saints with the youngest head coach in the NFL, team full of just unproven players, were just 1 game behind the 3-time reigning AFC Champion Chiefs. Now,
that is
we're
crazy.
both on the outside looking in, so
that is so.
But
wild.
man, I'm as ecstatic as if we were in the hunt right now.
Yeah.
But hey, man, just first off, I want to say Merry Christmas to you, James. Merry Christmas to the Who Dat Nation. And I want to regale you with a story.
Okay.
A story about a man who arrived when people were under heavy, brutal occupation of an empire, longing for the Messiah to restore their sovereignty.
Yeah.
During this time, the land was a powder keg. Several other figures who fit the hero mold that people actually wanted. These men promised to drive the enemy into the sea and usher in good times.
Yeah.
People were suffering from hopelessness and depression.
It's an amazing story.
When reports came out that a man was literally performing miracles and feeding people who were hungry, it didn't matter what his politics were. He was solving the most immediate and desperate problems. His feats were seen as credentials. In that culture, if you could control the wind or raise someone from the dead, it was a signal that you were the anointed one by the creator of the universe. Now, James, you may be saying, what's this brother talking about right now? Is this Jesus Christ? That's Tyler Shough I'm talking about.
Whoa.
He is resurrecting the city of New Orleans.
100%.
The franchise that is the Saints and feeding us in the Who Dat Nation.
Yes.
Now, with it being the week of Christmas, I want you guys to open that gift that Santa left under the tree for y'all because it's a franchise quarterback. We got one. We got a quarterback that's out there dapping up 50 Cent before the game, doing a beanie weenie, just fully embracing the culture, man. We got a quarterback playing with some of the most perverse, sicko amalgamation of an offense. I mean, he's elevating this talent and throwing for 300 yards, man.
Yeah.
And this reminds me of Drew Brees when he was doing the same shit with, like, undrafted free agents. I mean, this man put the team on his back.
I mean, again, Taesm Hill, Mason Tipton. Damn, the whole dresser just fell down. I'm not even editing it. A whole dresser in the studio just collapsed. That was insane. I thought my roof was falling in. Again, Taesm Hill, Mason Tipton, Kevin Austin Jr., Audric Estime, Foster Moreau, Jack Stoll, Dante Pettis got targets. Taesm Hill, Audric Estime, Mason Tipton, and Evan Hull are your rushers.
He's throwing a Jack Stoll, Kevin Austin, Mason Tipton, Taesm Hill. Man, be so for real right now, man.
It's crazy.
This dude is throwing so crisp, so accurate, James. I mean, I don't think this is even close to his peak. He's doing this with a bunch of nobodies. Brother, his running backs are like 2 homeless dudes from the Ozanon Inn. I mean, this season is totally echoing the same one that Dan Campbell had with the Lions when he turned them around. I mean,
I think it's better because Jared Goff was not a second round 40th overall pick drafted by the team. Jared Goff was, they traded for him, whatever. He's part of the trade. This is way better than that. Now you've got all these rookies. You've got all these young guys. You've got potentially the rookie of the year quarterback. Like, this is way better than what was going on with Dan Campbell his first year. And it's not predicated on Ben Johnson. That was a big difference with Dan Campbell. He went and got Ben Johnson. Kellen Moore is the guy. Kellen Moore is calling the offense. He doesn't need Ben Johnson, right? Dan Campbell needed the coordinators. There's a lot going on there. This is better. I know we always stack this up. This is a better situation than what the Lions were in before they took off.
We may be further along than them.
Yeah.
I think if Tyler Shough played in the New York or Los Angeles market, he'd be he'd be in a Wheaties box right now. He'd be on commercials. You'd have every talking head screaming that he needs to be Rookie of the Year, which, by the way, he probably should be.
He probably
yeah. But, man, I just feel like this game, this is one that I'm going to remember for a long time. Not just because we just stomped out the Jets. I couldn't care less about the Jets. But this may be the last home game for Cam Jordan and Taesm Hill, man. And we had our rookie best game of his career so far, sending these guys off in front of the home crowd. Great job, Tyler, man. We get into Christmas on a win streak with a franchise quarterback. The NFL needs to do the right thing and just give the Saints an automatic bid into the playoffs. No one wants to see Carolina Tampa, man. Just give it to the Saints.
I'm with you.
I feel like whenever the Saints win, my week, man, is just better. My food tastes better.
Life is easier.
My meal preps come out better.
Yeah,
my
easier to breathe.
Work more peaceful. My sleep is more restful.
Yes.
What better week to have these good vibes than if not for Christmas week?
Yeah, well said.
I don't know, man. Just the vibes are immaculate right now, James.
Couldn't agree more.
But hey, man, that's all I want to share with you guys. Merry Christmas again to you, to Who Dat Nation, and to the Skrmetta verse, man. And until next time, peace.
Joseph, you came up in here and knocked it out of the park. That was a freaking call. That was amazing. Joseph, you better call again, my man. That was nice. That was freaking nicey. All right, main event, a.k.a. the last call. Going back at it like a crack addict. Cool Sports Rhymes guy.
What's happening, James, is me once again. I want to start off by joking around with you for a moment.
Okay, I'll sit back.
Before the season started, you said that Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young are trash QBs and that they are both busts.
Yeah.
But as we currently sit at this point in the season, it seems like both of them are actually going to end up being in the playoffs. And, of course, you can argue the amount of role that each one of them are playing in their team's success. I thought for sure that the Bucs were going to win our division, and I picked the Bucs to win the game against the Panthers.
Real quick, Bryce still ass, all right? Trevor is having a bit of a renaissance with Liam Cohen. I will admit, Trevor is kind of balling out of control right now. And he may have actually, let's take a look here. I take my data points, I see what's going on, and then I got to call it like I see it. Maybe Trevor Lawrence is actually taking the ultra rare. He's finally taking the step in his 5th season in the NFL. Maybe after disappointing for 4 years, maybe finally he is actually taking the step. Right now, Trevor Lawrence is kind of balling. And right now, he kind of is good. I will say that. Bryce Young, I think, is still ass. But Liam Cohen may have unlocked something in Trevor Lawrence. I'll give him that.
Today, but I was proven wrong. The Panthers actually won that game, and they are currently in the driver's seat for winning the division. My question to you is, do you think that Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young are part of the Skrmetta verse? Do you think that Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young are watching your videos and that they hear you when they say that they are trash and that they are bust and they are using you for motivation? Maybe they're saying to themselves, okay, face of the franchise, you think I'm a bust, you think I'm trash? Well, I'm going to show you. So maybe you might end up being the catalyst for Trevor Lawrence and Bryce Young turning their careers around.
I could see that. I could see Trevor Lawrence watching the channel, and I could see Trevor Lawrence watching the channel and using me as motivation, like how Rocky used Mr. T as or Mr. T used Rocky's motivation in Rocky 3. I could see that for sure. Bryce Young, again, I think he's still ass, but Trevor Lawrence, I could see him, having a picture of me on his wall, and.
But on a more serious note, I just watched the video that you posted in the locker room with Kellen Moore and the players.
Yep.
And I agree with you. I believe that Kellen Moore is showing that he can be a good or a great head coach. He's showing that he knows how to build a winning culture. It seems like our players are actually buying into what he is doing and buying into what he's selling. Seems like they actually believing in him. So that's a good sign, and that points towards us having success in the future. And I'm with you. I didn't want Mike McCarthy as a head coach. Nothing against Mike McCarthy. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. And I didn't want Aaron Glenn as our head coach either. Nothing against Aaron Glenn. I like Aaron Glenn, but I also preferred an offensive-minded type of head coach.
Yeah.
And I remember when you went out on a limb and you said that you think Kellen Moore is going to be the best coach we've had in our team's history, even better than Sean Payton.
Not only did I say that, I said that at Radio Row at the Super Bowl. That takes some guts.
And I'm not going to go that far just yet. I mean, Sean Payton is the coach that's behind me experiencing the best season that I've experienced as a Saints fan. He's the coach that has given us our only Super Bowl, of course, in 2009. And he's also the coach that's behind me having one of the best birthdays that I've ever had. One of the best birthdays I've ever had was January 24th, 2010. And if you're a longtime Saints fan, I probably don't have to remind you what happened that day. But that was a couple of weeks before we actually won the Super Bowl against the Colts. That was the NFC Championship game against the Minnesota Vikings.
Brett Favre.
And I remember waking up that day, and I was nervous throughout that whole day. I got even more nervous the closer it got towards game time. And I had a birthday party that day. And, of course, everybody that was at the birthday party had to watch the game because I wanted to watch the game.
Of course.
One of my aunties made this awesome cake for me. It was a Saints cake. The way she decorated it was real cool and real nice.
Shout out her.
And I remember being so nervous before Garrett Hartley kicked the field goal and that I couldn't even sit down. I had to stand up. And after Garrett Hartley made that field goal, I remember after jumping around and shouting and screaming, I remember saying to myself, this is one of the best birthdays I've ever had. And, of course, if we would have lost that game, it could have been reversed. It might have ended up being one of the worst birthdays I've ever had.
Yeah.
But I felt like I gave us good luck that day, and we ended up, of course, going to our first Super Bowl. So that's a lot to top. That's going to be a lot to actually do better than. But my question, I guess another good question for you would be then is, what would Kellen Moore have to do to be the best coach in our team's history? What would he have to do to dethrone Sean Payton and take over that number 1 spot and drop Sean Payton down to that number 2 spot? But that's all I got for today. As always, I will continue to enjoy the great content that you put out, Face of the Franchise.
Thank you, my man. And happy early birthday. So a big reason of why I said that was because I believe Kellen Moore is going to be a good coach, and I believe he's too smart and too innovative and has exactly what you want a head coach. So I do believe he'll succeed, but his runway is crazy. Like, think about it. He could easily coach for 20, 25 years in New Orleans. All right? Easily could be the head coach of this team for 30 years. If he coached here for 30 years, he'd be 66. He'd be younger than Pete Carroll, right? So if he does have success, then he'll probably be here for a long time. And at a certain point, like, that matters, right? Like, yeah, obviously you can point to a Super Bowl, all that, whatever. But if he just goes on a run and, we start making playoffs, winning NFC South, like doing all this stuff, and he is here for that long, he will be the best coach in Saints history, even if he doesn't win a Super Bowl. You know, like if he's here for 25 years, 30 years, I mean, I know it's a long time, but like if he's here for that long, 20 years, whatever, and it's just playoffs and NFC South and draft picks. I mean, Tyler Shough rookie of the year. Who knows what will happen in all that time? Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he just eventually usurps Sean Payton as the best head coach in Saints history. You know, he just needs to be in that conversation, have the longevity. Obviously, a Super Bowl win would be nuts, but you know, so that's why I was so confident in saying that, willing to say that, is because he's just in a unique situation. You know, like he just has, and the Saints are a franchise that's been very loyal with coaches. So, I mean, we're ahead of where I thought we would be. We're already ahead of that. So, I have full faith in Kellen. And will he reach the peak? Like, will he reach that level of winning a Super Bowl? Hard to tell. I mean, winning a Super Bowl is very difficult. You know what I mean? Like, I know, like, some people may say, like, well, if he does win a Super Bowl, he can never be above Sean Payton. Yeah, I kind of push back on that. I mean, we'll see how it all plays out. But the first thing he's got to do is stay here for a long time. I think if he's here 20 years, I think, yeah, he could. If you told me he was here for 20 years, I would say I'm doubling down that he will be the best coach in Saints history, for sure. And he's not even at the peak of his powers. Like, Kellen is a rookie. Kellen's a rookie head coach. So we don't even know how good of a head coach he'll be. We don't even know where he'll end up being, right? Like, same as Tyler Shough. Will Tyler Shough end up being an MVP one day? I don't know. He's on his way, all right? Will Kellen Shough end up being coach of the year one day? Who knows? He's well on his way. So I'm just as impressed with Kellen's rookie year as I am with Tyler Shough's rookie year. All right, guys, 2 hours and 11 minutes. Jesus. Dresser collapsed. I mean, I had to go check this out. Wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for all your calls. Much appreciated. I will see if you made it to the end. I mean, good Lord. You're a hero. Let me know in the comments below if you made it to the end. I will see you in the next video.